and welcome to the Coston Show. My name is Bethany Criswell.
And I'm Roland J. Coston Criswell.
Today we have a great show for you today. But first, I want to talk about our Facebook page and how much action we've been getting on our Facebook page. I want to say thank you so much to all of you out there sending us messages, as well as sending us show ideas. Today we have with us
Liz Kanche from the American Healthcare Group. And also remember to visit us on our Twitter account at CostonFH. Once again, it's at CostonFH. So when we come back from the break, we're going to have my pre-need segment, and then we're going to have Liz Kanche from the American Healthcare Group.
We've got a big problem, and we need your help.
It's called sexual assault, and it has to stop.
We have to stop it. So listen up.
If she doesn't consent, or if she can't consent,
it's a crime. It's wrong.
We need all of you to be part of the solution. This is about respect. It's about responsibility.
It's up to all of us to put an end to sexual assault. And that starts with you.
Because one is too many.
Hello, I'm Roland J. Coston Criswell, and welcome back to the pre-need segment of the Coston Show. First and foremost, I must apologize to you, our viewing audience. Why am I apologizing? Because we've talked about cemetery information, we've talked about insurance information, we even talked about the different ways that you can take care of your funeral expenses, but I never defined pre-need. And so how can we have a pre-need portion of our show and I never defined pre-need? So allow me to define pre-need. Pre-need is a way to relieve your loved ones of the tremendous burden and responsibility of planning your final services at a time of loss and stress. And it is their assurance and yours that the final arrangements are exactly what you wanted. Pre-planning your own funeral is one of the most responsible, caring things you can do. It provides comfort and peace of mind for both you and your loved ones. So, when you are pre-needing your funeral arrangements, it is a necessary and a must that you deal with a licensed funeral director. So, please allow me to explain the definition of a licensed funeral director. According to the State Board of Pennsylvania Act, the term funeral director shall include any person engaged in the profession of a funeral director or in the care and disposition of the human remains, or in the practice of disinfecting and preparing by embalming the human dead for the funeral service, burial, or cremation, or the supervising of the burial, transportation, or disposal of human bodies, or in the practice of funeral directing or embalming as presently known. The term funeral director shall also mean a person who makes arrangements for funeral service and who sells funeral merchandise to the public incidental to such service, or who makes financial arrangements for the rendering of such services and a sale of such merchandise. So now we've defined pre-need and we defined a licensed funeral director. I always like professions and our guests to share with our viewing audience. If you all were interested, or if you have children interested, or yourself may be interested in getting into the profession that we're in, what is the strategic plan or the course of work you have to do to become a funeral director or an attorney, if we have an attorney as a guest? So please allow me to share with you what the requirements are to become a licensed funeral director. First and foremost, you have education requirements. In the state of Pennsylvania, someone has to complete 60 college credits to become a funeral director. Once you complete 60 college credits, you can attend a mortuary school. Myself, I completed my 60 college credits at the Morgan State University in Baltimore, and then I went on and completed a one-year mortuary program at the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science. After you complete your educational requirements, you have to become a resident intern. You serve a one-year resident internship under a licensed funeral director who supervises you in all aspects of funeral service. While you're completing your resident internship, you have to complete a national board exam as well as a state board exam. So once you have all your education completed and you've completed your state board exam and your national exam and you've completed your 1-year residency, then it is time to apply for a license with the State Board of Funeral Directors. At this point, an individual must pass a criminal background check to become a licensed funeral director. Once you pass that criminal background check, you can become a licensed funeral director through the State Board of Funeral Directors. So this week we share with you what exactly pre-need is. Then we share with you that you should make pre-need arrangements only with a licensed funeral director. When you're dealing with funeral homes, you should request that you deal with a licensed funeral director. Why should you request dealing with a licensed funeral director? Join us in our next pre-need segment, and I'll stress to you the importance of why when you're visiting funeral homes, you should always request to deal with a licensed funeral director. Thank you.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
I have a promise to be a doctor. I have a promise to be a chef.
Did you know that what children learn before kindergarten affects how well they will do in school and even what they might be when they grow up? Reading to children at home and choosing quality early learning programs are great ways to help children build the skills they will need for life. For more ideas, visit papromiseforchildren.com.
Because every child is Pennsylvania's future.
Welcome back to the Coston Show. We have joining us today Ms. Liz Hagan-Kanche from the American Healthcare Group. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at the American Healthcare Group?
Sure. I've been with the company for a little over 12 years, and we work with populations of people to help bring wellness programming to where they live and work. So we work with senior high-rises and bring farmers market on wheels and wellness coordinators there. We work with schools and bring assemblies for the kids, but also wellness and fitness, nutrition education for the teachers. And then, of course, for corporations, we bring expert wellness providers to their place of work so that they, while they're on the job where we spend so much time, can continue to educate themselves about living a healthy lifestyle.
So I know that you are over the wellness division.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about a couple of the programs that you do under the wellness division?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the things that we do are help to kind of get a baseline for where that population is. So we do a little bit of risk factors, find out in that particular industry what they're more at risk for, whether they drive trucks or they're teachers and they're on their feet all day, or they work with like disadvantaged kids and they need stress management, tobacco cessation, things like that. So we kind of get in there and get a feel for what they need and then design a wellness program around that.
Now, do you do any work with small businesses?
Yes. Yep, we work with small and large and anyone in between.
Now, I noticed on your website you had a video about, it followed a senior woman from her taking her medication to, can you just kind of explain, because that was a great illusion of what the company actually does.
Sure.
So can you take us through that scenario?
Yeah, so we have relationships with senior high-rises, like I mentioned, where they hire us to come in and be service coordinators, and we also hire nurse coordinators to be within those senior high-rises. So we live in the second oldest county in America, other than a county in Florida, which is really cool for us because we have this wealth of knowledge from all these seniors. But what happens is that they can't live in their houses anymore, or they choose to downsize and live in these apartment buildings. So we offer service coordinators, so they help them find doctors, get their Medicare plans in order, pay their rent, find rent vouchers, hook up with Social Security, and really anything else. We kind of just add a support system there for them. And then, of course, the nurse coordinators will do blood pressure clinics and flu shot clinics and things like that, help them access health care when they need to. And it really helps to increase the quality of their life. So our Erin Hart and Maureen Sullivan work a lot with the seniors. And Maureen Sullivan has done great things in the buildings. She's helped them put in not farms, but like small corporate, like company gardens or family gardens really, because they're all like in a big apartment building in little containers and plots if she has it, and really starting from zero. So it's been really cool to watch that unfold.
That's something great. I also saw on there, and I know this happens to a lot of seniors where they may be taking certain medications and it mixes with another medication they may be on, and you all help with coordinating with the doctors to make sure that the dosage is correct.
Yeah, medical management. It's almost like having a daughter, honestly, or a son that just kind of like helps them get through life. Because a lot of, sometimes there is no family, or there's no family left, or they don't want to ask for help, you know, which is a lot of what our seniors will do. They don't want to be a burden on their family, but they need help. So we can help them coordinate their prescriptions and you know, find the right doctor who will help them get to the bottom of what they need.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Now you said that you help in the schools and small businesses. Like, what would you do for a small business or in the schools?
Well, in the schools, we do a lot of farm-to-table work in the schools. So we do a farm-to-table conference every March, and it's 2 days at the convention center, teaching people how to access local food and the importance of eating local food, eating at your family table, learning where your food comes from. And that conference is always free to teachers. We get a sponsor or pick up the cost for that, because we want teachers to come and learn about that and then bring it back to their curriculum in their classrooms. So of course it trickles down to our children. Kids think chicken is from Giant Eagle, or they think eggs are from the fridge, which is something my daughter actually said. So I have some work to do too. But making that connection between the land and our food, and we all come from the earth, and the food comes from the earth, and we, to appreciate that connection is what Farm to Table is a lot about. Well, one more thing for the kids, we just started about 18 months ago, is that we're doing assemblies. So we come in, and for the kids, we do a local food assembly and teach them about how to make their plate colorful and like where food comes from. So that's been really fun to do.
Do you all ever work with the like the dining services at the schools? Because I know like my son's lunch, I have a pre-K student and a second grader, and their lunch is $4.10, and I just couldn't believe that their lunch was so much money. Yeah. But one Friday I went in to eat with him, and he of course ate one bite, and it was like pizza with pears, like pear halves, and some carrots and some potatoes or something.
Right.
But so do you guys ever work with the lunch services at the schools?
Yeah, we have definitely talked to them, and I see little things happening on cafeteria menus. They'll say like they got apples from a local farm in September, whenever the harvest comes in. So I see little things happening, but that is a big thing that we aren't really in the capacity of changing. We'll always be there to support it, but it's a lot to do with money and like what they get from the government. And they also have to follow strict guidelines. So they'll get food subsidized and things like that. So we're actually working with one nonprofit right now who follows the school lunch program for breakfast and lunch. And they wrote their menus like in 1985. So and there's like margarine on their menu. So we're helping them to kind of bring things back to real food. Because just because you're feeding a ton of kids doesn't mean you can't feed them nutritious food or local food or healthy food or whole food even.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my son didn't eat his lunch that day, but I certainly did eat it. I just felt like that was $4.10 going down the drain. So
yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll have more with Liz when we come back.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Hello, and welcome back to the Coston Show. If you just tuned in, we have with us Liz Kanche from the American Healthcare Group.
Liz, in preparing for today, you sent me a great tip sheet that talked about organizing family dinners. So can you share with our viewers, because I know it is so challenging for busy moms and busy families.
And busy fathers.
And busy fathers. And we're, you know, cooking, you have homework, you have sports. So can you just kind of give us some tips
And you know,
on?
even we talk about families, but even like people who are now living alone.